Hi, Islamic Dad here. If you enjoy this channel, please subscribe. It does help me out a lot. I finally got my tripod back, so I can up the quality of my videos that much, but still, easier for me than standing in my doorway. So today I wanted to do a short video on a subject that I had touched in passing previously, but I thought I'd devote a video to it specifically. And that is what's commonly referred to as negative supply. Now, typically when we talk about supply and narcissist, we will talk about validation, attention, compliments, etc. Just, positive interactions with people that, verify, acknowledge the narcissist false self, basically. That said, narcissist will take supply any way they can get it. And depending on the type of narcissist, they will be times where they take negative supply as their main source of supply. Obviously, with malignant narcissist, I would argue that negative supply is by far their favorite flavor. That they would take, conflict and confrontation over compliments, no matter how nice the attention is. But for the most part, most narcissists prefer the normal, validation flavor of supply, but they'll take negative supply too, if it's the only option, or they just are in a mood for that flavor. So, one of the patterns that I've noticed when trying to categorize negative supply is that it seems to follow a very clear kind of process of triggering or activating negative emotions. I mean, to the point where it's almost like the narcissist is just reading a textbook and going down the list of negative emotions. So, for instance, sadness. This may strike you as an odd one, but I have had multiple situations with both of the narcissists in my life where they would try to blindside me, just kind of catch me off guard with really sad news or a sad memory. And so they might say something just, out of nowhere and just say, "Hey, remember your uncle that died 2 years ago? You guys were really close, weren't you? It must have really hurt when he passed away." And they'll just say this out of nowhere. And I mean, we might be eating lunch or something like that, and stuff like that, where they'll say like, "Oh, you used to be friends with so and so, but they moved away. That must be rough." And so that would be an example of sadness. Oddly enough, another odd one. At first, when you think about it, is disappointment. So very often, again, with both of my narcissists, they would set up a situation where they might make a promise to do something or be someplace, something like that, and then just not do it. With they're being covert, either narcissists, but basically they'll do that, and then they're looking at you out of the corner of their eyes. Just they want to see you crestfallen. And so I know that's something that happened very often with me and my ex-girlfriend, the covert narcissist, is that we might discuss plans about going out for the night, maybe to a club or something like that. And I would say, hey, how about you wear such and such dress? It might even be one that I bought for her. It's a really beautiful dress, and it'd be great to go with my outfit. You look fantastic in it. And she would really be eager, like, oh yeah, I haven't worn that in a while. That would be great. I'll definitely, I'll wear that tonight. And then when I would go to pick her up, she'd just be wearing some completely different outfit. And if I were to make a comment about it, she'd just blow me off and just be like, no, I want to wear this. And again, very clearly, in retrospect, looking to see the disappointment in my eyes and in my expression as my expectation and the promise were broken. And so that's one flavor of negative supplier, or I should say one type. Another is fear. This would be the classic, if I'm so awful, why don't you leave? Or if you do that, I'm going to tell your family that you did XYZ. Or, if you keep, confronting me about your boundary, then I'm just going to leave. I'm going to leave the relationship. And again, it would always be, something drastic, over the top, where and it wasn't necessarily like anything that they cared for really, or anything that would benefit them. They would just make these statements and look for the fear in my face. And again, this goes back to the whole point of the narcissist at the beginning of the relationship, basically playing detective. I mean, they are looking for every secret, every trauma, everything that has had an emotional impact you in your entire life, and they are writing it down. And so you might tell them something when it's the love bombing phase, and 4 years later they pull that out and turn it around and lob that grenade at you, and they just want to see the expression on your face. Another one is frustration. This goes, pretty closely to disappointment, but just kind of, at least for me, like repeatedly breaking promises, repeatedly stonewalling me when I share concerns about something. And again, it is, like, especially for like my malignant narcissist, it's like her favorite candy in the candy shop. If she can frustrate me and see that response back, she's in absolute heaven. And she has infinite energy to do things in order to frustrate me. And again, things that are just insane, absolutely insane, that no sane person would ever want, because they don't help her. She's actually making her own life more difficult, more complicated, solely because she wants that sugar. She wants her negative supply, so she'll do these crazy things just to try to get a glimpse, even if it's a moment of frustration on my face. Another one, this one's kind of a given. I touched on this, but also, tied with fear is insecurity, where they would bring up any insecurities that you may have shared to them in confidence, in a moment of vulnerability. Insecurity about the future with them, insecurity about their past. I think that, it seems like both of the narcissists in my life were adept at bringing up stuff from their past that was maybe not relevant to what was going on here, or bringing up things that were like outside of me and them, and just kind of plopping them out there, just to see if I start showing signs of insecurity, either about myself or about the relationship. And again, that was one that both my exes, my ex-wife and my ex-girlfriend did, but very much more so my covert narcissist ex-girlfriend. That was one of her, favorites. Shame. This one, they both did, but at least for me, that was a flavor that my malignant narcissist preferred. She really tried to hit that shame button by bringing up things that she felt I should be ashamed about. And, at least for me, it was kind of frustrating for her, because I didn't feel any shame about those things. I mean, even if I was in the wrong, I had made peace with them and whatever the situation was. And if she wanted to bring it up and, try to throw it at me to get a reaction, that was fine, because it wasn't going to do anything. And of course, my, my ex-girlfriend, same thing, especially during the, smear campaign. But again, it was just, didn't work on me. I've made peace with all my past, and I just don't have any shame when it comes to things. And again, it was kind of odd for me with both of my narcissists on this particular flavor, because they both really leaned into it thinking that it was going to work, and and tried multiple times, but it never went anywhere. And it was it was just kind of strange, because you would think, I mean, again, a normal person would be like, okay, this method of attack is not working. I need to switch my strategy and try this other method of attack. But again, at least the narcissists in my life, they would just keep throwing these, shame attacks, thinking that they were going to trigger me, and it never did anything. And, just right now as I'm saying this, maybe it's because the narcissist is so driven by their own internal shame. I mean, basically that's what defines them at a core level, is their shame. And so maybe because of that, they think, oh my God, my shame is what hurts me the most, more than anything else in the world. Therefore, I'll use that attack. And they just don't learn. But, that's for another video. And along the same thing to, shame's cousin, blame, where something might happen in, say, the relationship, or something, tangential to the relationship, and they would feel like they were in a position to say that's your fault. Why did you do that? You should apologize, or I can't believe you did that. That that's horrible that you did that, and just try to blame you, and often for something that doesn't matter, and just kind of wait for that response back. Those are, some of the, almost more subtle variations in the flavor of negative supply. To be broader with kind of the definition of negative supply and like how narcissists will try to get it, triggers. Again, going back through the early part of the relationship, they will try to find those sore spots, childhood trauma, things that maybe you did and you are ashamed of, things that have hurt you in your past that make you sad. And when the time comes, they will throw those out. And again, I mean, one of the things that's really noticed, or I would almost say defines in some fashion the use of these attacks to get negative supply, is that in my experience these attacks and these attempts at triggering me always came out of nowhere. So it would either be a situation where we were getting along, maybe watching a movie, eating lunch, and the narcissist would just throw something out there, just and it would be completely off the topic of the conversation. We might not even be talking, and they would just start with that, which was odd. And the other one was when we might be having an argument, and so maybe we were having an argument about loading the dishwasher, and it would be something ridiculous like, oh well, you always load the bowls on the bottom rack so that they get closer to the hot water. And the other person says, no, you always load the bowls on the top rack because you don't want the water dripping down when they dry, just something like that. And then out of nowhere, the narcissist would say, you're doing this, you're getting mad just like you must have when you were attacked by your uncle when you were 7. They just like dig for like some really deep trauma and just throw that out there to trigger you when you're arguing about where the bowls go in the dishwasher. And again, at least in my experience, that was something that both the narcissists did, was that they would just throw in these triggers in the at the strangest times. And I don't think it was by accident. I think that that's part of the attack, is that they want to catch you off guard, one, so that you're more easily triggered because your defenses are literally down, and two, that the at least for them, the emotional shift would be that much more drastic. To go from just eating a pleasant lunch to the narcissist just throwing out childhood trauma, that would be, such a switch in your demeanor, your, emotional expression in your face and your body. And I think that the narcissist eats that up like like a Godiva chocolate or something. I think to them it's just absolutely delicious. And so, it's very strange. And I think that, when the narcissist chooses to do these things to gain negative supply, I don't think it's an accident. I think that they are waiting to ambush you, that for whatever reason makes it that much more delicious for them. So hopefully this video has been helpful. Thanks.